Go ahead and start with Cecil Hurt. Go ahead, Cecil.
Um, Coach, I just wanted to ask about the medical update, particularly on Javon and Herb.
So Javon's been able to participate in some of practice, so we're going to see where he's at with the trainer tomorrow. Hopeful on him. Herb, we dodged a bullet. It's not as bad as what we originally had thought, but he's still not. It's still pretty swollen. It's just there's nothing broken in there. So he's day to day. He's trying to get to where he can bend his finger a little bit more. But obviously Bruner's going to be out for, I think the timeline they gave us was 4 to 6 weeks. So hopefully he can recover and be closer to 4 than 6. But that's where we're at on those. Hopefully JQ and Herb by next week we'll have both of them for sure. And shoot, I don't know, maybe either one of them could possibly give us some minutes tomorrow if in an as need basis maybe.
All right, let's go to Tony Sakalas next.
Nate, what did you guys learn from games like last year against Arkansas where you got up to big leagues and then let them slip away? And how much has this team matured from maybe that bunch and not doing that this year?
I hope we learned a lot because we were up decent amount. I think right out of the gate on them. Can't remember the exact what we were up, and then we let it slip away. And I think we've been up on some teams here lately, and then they make a little run. And I think our guys have grouped together and made some tough plays, got some stops, got some buckets. So I think we're maturing. I like our group. I thought practice was good today. Bruner was not able to be at practice yesterday, but he was there in person today. Herb was there in person. It's good to have them, even if they're not able to practice, just to be around to talk to them. I think they're good leaders. I think Petty's shown some leadership. I thought Reese was really good today. So we've got those seniors. Tyler Barnes is a walk-on, but I love Tyler in practice. His energy's great. His leadership's good. We got 5 seniors that understand it, that have been with us. They're about the right stuff. Shackelford's really come on in that regard. I think he's really zoned in on all the winning things that matter. So I think it's one of those deals where, if you just continue to play the right way and don't let the scoreboard, shoot. We had a minute and a half, 2 minutes to go. Primo didn't know what the score was last game, apparently, from what I saw on Twitter. So maybe if everybody just plays like we're down 2 all the time, we'll be all right.
Next question to Bob Holt with Arkansas Democratic Gazette.
Hey, Nate, how you doing? You guys have won everywhere you played in the conference, but the SEC, in SEC games only, the road teams actually have a winning record, 15-14. I know arenas obviously aren't what they normally are, atmospheres and crowds and all that, but does that surprise you? What do you make of that? And does that put you a little more on upset alert, even though you're at home for this game?
Yeah, so the home court advantage is not near what it used to be before COVID. If you're in Rupp and you're up 20 or whatever we were, and they're making a run and cut it to, I think, 11 at one point, the place would be going nuts. And they tried to get a little bit loud, but it's definitely not the same as having 23,000 people in there. So, yeah, at our place, our guys fed off the crowd a lot last year. Big fan of your shirt there. I'm a huge Packer fan. You just moved so I could see what you're actually wearing. We got something in common there. I grew up in Wisconsin, so we got a big one this weekend. But I think I didn't realize. So is that what it is? It's 15-14 road teams are up right now. So yeah, so it's essentially no home court advantage. And I've actually talked to some coaches, not necessarily in our league, but elsewhere, that they almost would rather play on the road this year, some of them. So, we've been able to go into Tennessee and Kentucky, places that usually are really hard to get wins, and, able to play a little bit better maybe than you would if they had a full crowd. So flipping that around at home, you just got to play the game. You just got to be better. Your crowd's not going to pull you through runs like it used to be able to. You're just going to have to lock in. You're going to have to play. You're going to have to create your own energy at home just like you do on the road, and it is kind of what it is this year.
Next question, let's go to Haley Sutton.
Hey, Coach, kind of a two-part question here. You're in your second year at Alabama, so I'm just wondering if you're settling in a little bit more, if you feel more comfortable leading this program. And secondly, I guess with this group of guys this year, do you feel better knowing that it's your second year with these guys and that's maybe what the chemistry is coming from?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a lot better. I mean, you're got a whole year under your belt going into this year. Guys know what we're looking for, I know how to deal with them. They know how to deal with me. I mean, there's just a familiarity that you can't force, right down their throat in year one. I think they understand what we're looking for. We understand how to motivate them a little bit better. They understand the offensive system better. We've gotten to know them better as players, how to put them in a position to succeed, how to use them defensively better. There's just a whole lot more familiarity. And we only have 4 guys that played for us last year, but Rojas, Jawan Gary, and Quinterly obviously were in the program for a year before. So we really have 7 guys that have been in the program here with us. And then those guys now are able to talk to the new guys a little bit more. You've got some of that going on. Whereas last year, everybody's new. Nobody's able to teach. It's Herb's first year with us, just like it's Shaq's first year with us, even though one's a junior and one's a freshman. So now you've got the guys that have been here, played for us, been in the program, able to teach some of the younger guys. And some of that teaching is a lot more important than the head coach to player teaching. So I think, as you're here longer and longer, more and more of that gets established.
Let's go to Cecil Hurt.
With the minutes that Jordan Bruner was getting, is that some combination of Reese, Gary, Rojas? Is that how you sort of look at distributing that?
Pretty much. And maybe Keon Ambrose in there too. So, Reese's minutes are going to have to go up. Those guys were kind of splitting about 24-16 here recently with just the way, every 4 minutes coming in and out. Reese is going to have to go closer to the 24 mark. And then, a combination of Rojas, Keon Ambrose, playing small ball kind of with the other options, to be honest with you. Would have been nice to have Alex Chiku this year, but we don't. So, now that Chiku and Bruner are both out, we're a little bit small outside of Reese, but with our system, we like to play small ball sometimes anyways. Arkansas plays small at times. Obviously, they're not small with their starting center. He's 7'3", but then when they come in with a backup. So, it's going to be a combination of Rojas, Ambrose, Jawan Gary, those 3 probably, and obviously Reese playing more.
All right, we got a follow-up from Bob Holt. Go ahead, Bob.
And I should have gotten my cheese head back here.
That would have been good.
Yeah, I lived in lacrosse when I was a kid. But what's your take on Arkansas? They've got a couple. They're out a couple guys like you are. Justin Smith's out for a while longer. They lost a freshman guard, K.K. Robinson. They obviously got hammered at LSU. Well, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I would have rather them not get hammered at LSU because they're actually a really good team, and I'd rather not play really good teams coming off a bad loss because they seem to be extra motivated and dialed in. And I'm sure, Coach Musselman's going to have them really focused and locked in after the loss they took at LSU. So it's probably not putting us in the best situation, to be honest with you. Now, they're missing Justin Smith. We're missing Bruner. They're missing K.K. Robinson. We had kid Frenchie out for the year, but, we've also got Quinterly, who's sat out for 2 weeks now, and maybe we can get him back for, a little bit. And Herb, we did play Herb last year with a cast on his hand, pulled down 17 rebounds against LSU. So, I think his first game back after the wrist injury last year, we put him in for 8-9 minutes against Auburn and gave us some decent minutes. I don't know if we'll have to see what he's feeling like tomorrow or something like that. But as far as their injuries, our injuries, we're both missing some guys. As far as their team and our team, they went undefeated in non-conference. We lost 3 games, so they were playing well. We probably played a little bit harder schedule than they did, but you can't do any better than go undefeated. So they're good, and they're definitely dangerous. They've got plenty of scoring. I mean, shoot, Note comes off the bench. I think he's averaging 19 points in 25 minutes. That's if you're talking about points per minute played, he's probably leading the SEC, at least in guys that have played, more than 20 minutes or so. So they've got good scoring off the bench. They've got hard-playing guys. They've got athletic guys. They Coach Musselman puts them in great position to make plays. They play in space. And then we've got some we've never dealt with before in 7'3". That's big. I mean, we kept saying it in practice today. Tomorrow that's 7'3" in there. You're probably not going to be able to go up and finish that. Tomorrow that might be a spray out, but guys just aren't used to it. You can't replicate that in practice. You can't have a guy playing live with a broom in his hands or something. So it's they're a good team, and I think we're probably catching them at the exact wrong time, to be honest with you. I would much rather have had them win against LSU than lose like they did.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time.